Have you ever wondered why, as men get older, they start waking up in the middle of the night, once, twice, sometimes 4 or 5 times, just to pee? Or why the urge to go can hit so suddenly it's almost embarrassing? Maybe it's already happening to you. That slight pressure in your lower abdomen, the feeling like you didn't quite empty your bladder, or worse, those moments when your stream weakens, stops, then starts again like a stuttering faucet. And if you've chalked it all up to just getting older, I want you to pause right now and hear this. Because those symptoms, they're not just age, they're signals. And more importantly, they're warnings. Here's what most men over 60 are never told. The most common prostate problems, like benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, chronic inflammation, and even prostate cancer, don't usually come out of nowhere. They're shaped day after day by the things you do, the foods you eat, the way you sit, the hours you sleep or don't. Even the thoughts that run through your head can influence your hormones in ways that quietly, gradually, and sometimes dangerously reshape your prostate's health. The truth is, by the time most men are diagnosed with a prostate issue, the damage has been building for decades. And yet, very few are ever taught how to truly protect this vital part of their body. That changes today, because in the next few minutes, we're going to walk through the habits that are wrecking the prostate health of millions of men over 60. Not the obvious ones, not the things you hear about in ads or the once-a-year doctor visit, but the everyday patterns, quiet, seemingly harmless, that quietly shift your hormonal balance, fuel inflammation, and accelerate prostate growth or damage. But I'm not just here to point fingers at problems. I'm here to give you the most empowering part, the fixes. Backed by real clinical research, backed by data, backed by stories of men just like you who were sick of living at the mercy of their bathroom schedule, their urgency, or the fear of a diagnosis they felt powerless to prevent. You deserve better. You deserve to know what's really going on, and you deserve to reclaim the quiet strength that comes from a body you can trust. So, let's begin here. The prostate may be small, just about the size of a walnut in your youth, but the role it plays in a man's body is profound. It surrounds the urethra, that narrow tube that carries urine from your bladder out of the body. As you age, your testosterone drops and your levels of a hormone called DHT, dihydrotestosterone, rise. And when DHT accumulates, it acts like fertilizer for the prostate. It tells it to grow, slowly, steadily, until one day the tissue squeezes the urethra so tightly, it's like stepping on a garden hose. Your urine flow weakens, your bladder strains, and your sleep, it gets interrupted night after night after night. But that's not the only problem. An enlarged prostate can set the stage for infection, inflammation, even kidney strain. And here's the really startling part. Even men who eat well can still be making it worse, just by sticking to outdated habits that no longer serve their aging body. One of the biggest hidden culprits? Sitting. I know it sounds harmless, but think about it. How many hours a day are you sitting? Watching TV, eating meals, reading, driving, using the computer. For most men over 60, it's upward of 9-10 hours per day. And when you sit for long stretches, especially with poor posture, you reduce circulation to your pelvic floor. That means less blood flow to the prostate, less oxygen, less nutrient delivery, more stagnation. And over time, that creates the perfect breeding ground for inflammation. In fact, studies have shown that men who sit longer than 6 hours a day have a significantly higher risk of lower urinary tract symptoms. Not because sitting itself is evil, but because stillness is. Your prostate, your bladder, your entire urogenital system relies on gentle, daily movement to stay healthy. Think of it like a stream. When water moves, it stays clean. But when it stagnates, bacteria grow, muck settles. That's what happens inside your body too. But movement doesn't have to mean hitting the gym, just standing up every 30 minutes, taking a 10-minute walk after lunch, gentle stretching in the morning. These aren't chores, they're medicine. Natural, blood flow restoring, hormone regulating medicine. And it's free. Your body is waiting for that cue every single day. Now, let's talk about something even more personal, your diet. Because when it comes to prostate health, what you put on your plate is one of the most powerful tools you have. And yet, Most men over 60 are eating in a way that quietly fuels the very thing they want to avoid: inflammation. Red meat, processed meats, dairy pumped with hormones, refined sugars, excess omega-6 fats from vegetable oils. These aren't just bad foods. They are endocrine disruptors. They inflame the body. They throw your testosterone into chaos. They feed the conversion of testosterone into DHT, the very hormone that enlarges the prostate. And over time, that diet doesn't just make your pants tighter, it makes your prostate harder, heavier, and angrier. But the fix is simple. Swap the triggers for healing foods. Wild-caught fish loaded with omega-3 set as cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, which naturally reduce DHT. Pumpkin seeds, which contain zinc, one of the most powerful minerals for prostate balance. And tomatoes, rich in lycopene, a compound clinically shown to protect against prostate cancer. In one study, men who consumed higher amounts of lycopene had a 35% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. 35%. From a nutrient found in something as humble as a cooked tomato. And I want you to understand, this isn't about going vegan or starting some extreme diet. It's about shifting toward foods that help your body balance itself. And when you do, the urgency eases, the nighttime trips slow, the sense of control returns, and with it, confidence. There's another piece we need to talk about, and this one is often ignored because it feels emotional. But your stress levels? They matter more than almost anything else. When you're under chronic stress, your body releases cortisol. And high cortisol doesn't just wreck your sleep and your mood, it lowers your testosterone. In fact, cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. When one goes up, the other goes down. And as testosterone falls, DHT rises. The cycle continues. Your prostate gets more fuel to grow. Your inflammation stays high, and your resilience drops. Men over 60 often feel pressure to stay strong, to suck it up, to never talk about anxiety, or fear, or grief. But bottling that emotion doesn't protect you. It inflames you. It silently, chemically inflames the tissues in your body, including your prostate. That's why some of the most effective lifestyle changes for prostate health have nothing to do with supplements or surgery. They're about managing stress in a real daily way. Deep breathing, mindfulness, gratitude journaling, talking to someone you trust. These aren't soft practices, they are hard science. Proven to lower cortisol, proven to raise testosterone, proven to reduce inflammatory markers in the blood. And if you've never tried it, start with 2 minutes a day. Just 2 minutes. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Tell yourself, I am safe. My body knows how to heal. I am listening. And the more you do that, the more your nervous system relaxes. The more blood flows where it needs to go. The more your hormones begin to align again. This isn't woo-woo. This is biology. I know we've covered a lot already, but we're just getting started. Because in the next part, we're going deeper. We're going to talk about the 4 silent habits that sabotage your prostate even when everything else looks fine on the surface. The things that make good men feel old before their time, and the simple shifts that can give you back not only your strength, but your peace. And remember this, you are not broken. You are not behind. You are not powerless. You are simply ready. Ready to understand your body. Ready to change the story. Ready to protect your prostate not just for yourself, but for the life you still want to live. Let's keep going. Let's take a breath. Let the truth of what you've just heard settle in for a moment, because the deeper we go, the clearer it becomes. Your prostate health isn't just about genetics or bad luck. It's about patterns. It's about repeated choices. And once you start seeing those clearly, you begin to feel something incredibly powerful: control. Now, I want to walk you through 4 of the most silent, most overlooked habits that are quietly draining the strength, resilience, and function from your prostate. These aren't the big things, the surgeries, the diagnoses, the obvious medical red flags. These are the day-in, day-out actions that look small but add up to something big. The ones that sabotage even the most well-meaning men. And they're hiding in plain sight. Let's start with hydration, or more accurately, dehydration. Most men over 60 are walking around in a low-level state of dehydration every single day. And the worst part? They don't feel it. There's no raging thirst, just a slowdown, less energy, a little stiffness, a little fog, and of course more urinary urgency, more frequency, more nighttime wake-ups that seem unexplainable. But here's what's happening under the surface. When your body lacks water, your urine becomes concentrated. That means more irritation to the bladder lining, which makes you feel like you have to go even when your bladder's barely full. It also makes your kidneys work harder, increasing pressure through the urinary system and putting more stress on the prostate itself. It's like running a car engine with thick, dirty oil. Things get hot, friction builds, parts wear out. Now you might be saying, but I don't want to drink more water. I'll be in the bathroom all day. That's the trick. At first, yes, your body will need to adjust, but over time, better hydration actually reduces urinary urgency. Because when your urine is diluted, it stops irritating your system. Your bladder calms, your muscles coordinate better, your flow improves, and the prostate itself becomes less reactive. Aim for half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Sip throughout the day, not all at once. Add a pinch of sea salt to 1 glass to improve absorption if you're feeling crampy or tired. And cut the diuretics, like coffee and alcohol, after 3 p.m. small shifts. Big relief. Now, here's another one, holding it in. Sounds silly, right? But how many times have you felt the urge to urinate and thought, I'll go later, or I'm too busy right now, or I don't want to get up again? Holding urine regularly, especially when you feel urgency, is one of the worst things you can do for your bladder and prostate. Why? Because over time, this habit stretches the bladder muscle. It confuses the nerve signals that tell your body when it's full, and eventually, your bladder loses its tone. It stops contracting efficiently, which means even when you go, you don't fully empty. And when urine sits in the bladder too long, it increases the risk of infection, irritation, and inflammation that can travel straight back to, you guessed it, the prostate. One study in the Journal of Urology found that men who routinely delayed urination had significantly more lower urinary tract symptoms, especially in the evening and overnight. It wasn't age, it wasn't diet, it was a habit, a behavior, something completely fixable. So here's the shift. When you feel the urge, respond to it. Don't wait. Don't push through. Respect your body's signals. They're not interruptions. They're information. Every time you honor that, you're supporting the health of your entire urogenital system. Now, let's talk about sleep. Because if you're not sleeping, your prostate is not healing. Full stop. Sleep is when testosterone is restored. It's when inflammation goes down. It's when your immune system detoxifies the very tissues that are prone to overgrowth, swelling, and cellular mutation. In fact, men who sleep less than 6 hours a night have up to a 75% increased risk of prostate problems, including cancer. But there's a catch. Prostate issues themselves disrupt sleep. You wake up multiple times to urinate. You toss. You struggle to fall back asleep. It becomes a vicious cycle. The worse your prostate gets, the worse your sleep gets, and the worse your prostate gets again. So, how do we break that loop? First, by addressing all the lifestyle pieces we talked about: hydration, movement, diet, stress, but also by reinforcing a sleep rhythm. Go to bed at the same time every night. Create darkness, real darkness, in your room. No glowing screens, no blinking lights. Avoid alcohol in the evening. It may feel like it helps you relax, but it actually fragments your deep sleep and increases nighttime urination. And if you wake up in the night, don't panic. Get up, use the bathroom, and return to bed without checking your phone. Do a few slow, deep breaths. Remind your nervous system that you're safe, and you'll drop back into rest faster. Your body is always trying to return to balance. Give it the chance. Now, I want to talk about the final silent habit. And this one might surprise you. Ignoring pleasure. Yes, you heard that right. Too many men over 60 quietly disengage from intimacy, from sexual activity, from even talking about this part of their life. Maybe it's performance anxiety. Maybe it's shame. Maybe it's just a long season of feeling past that point. But here's the truth. Healthy sexual activity, even solo, is profoundly healing for your prostate. Ejaculation clears the ducts. It reduces congestion. It improves circulation. And it triggers a cascade of hormonal balancing effects, reducing DHT, calming cortisol, and improving testosterone sensitivity. In fact, several studies have found that men who ejaculate more regularly have a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer over time. This isn't about pressure. This isn't about performance. This is about presence, about staying engaged with your body, about remembering that vitality doesn't disappear with age. It just needs to be invited again. So, if this part of your life has been pushed aside, let it come back gently, with grace, with curiosity. Let it be part of your healing, because you're not just fixing a gland, you're rebuilding a relationship with your body, with your health, with your sense of self as a man. And you deserve that. You see, your prostate is a messenger, not just of hormones or urine, but of how you're living. If you ignore it, it will speak louder. If you listen, it will begin to heal. And healing doesn't always come in leaps. It comes in layers. You drink more water, you walk after dinner, you eat tomatoes and pumpkin seeds instead of red meat and processed cheese. You breathe deeper. You sleep longer. You reconnect with what makes you feel alive. And one day, you wake up and realize you're not getting up 3 times a night anymore. You're not hesitating in the bathroom stall. You're not avoiding long drives or social outings or hard conversations. You're showing up fully and powerfully because your body is working with you again. And that is the definition of health. In the final part, we're going to bring it all together. You'll discover the exact foods, supplements, and daily rhythms that top functional medicine doctors use to help men reverse decades of prostate strain. We'll walk through a real-life routine, a day in the life of someone who's reclaiming his body, one choice at a time. Because this isn't the end, it's the beginning. Let's keep going. You've come a long way. You've learned the truth about what's really happening inside your body. You've heard the quiet signals, the late-night wake-ups, the urgency, the hesitation. You've started to see how habits you thought were harmless were quietly making things worse. But now, it's time to shift fully into empowerment, because this is the part where it all comes together, the part where you stop waiting for your prostate to feel better and start building the lifestyle that helps it heal. And that starts with your plate. Every meal you eat sends a chemical message to your body. It's either saying inflammation or healing, hormonal chaos or balance, stagnation or flow. And for your prostate, those messages add up fast. So let's talk food, real food. The kind of eating that helps your prostate shrink inflammation, reduce the buildup of DHT, and rebuild hormonal harmony. The kind that makes you feel lighter, clearer, more in control, not just of your symptoms, but of your life. The first pillar is color. Yes, color. Deep reds from cooked tomatoes, beets, berries. These contain phytonutrients like lycopene and anthocyanins, compounds that have been shown in studies to lower the risk of prostate enlargement and cancer. And here's the key. It's not about raw salads. Lycopene becomes more bioavailable when it's heated. So things like tomato paste, roasted red peppers, and even watermelon during summer. These are not just snacks, they're therapy. The second pillar is healthy fat. Your prostate is a hormone-sensitive organ, and hormones are made from fats. But not just any fats. Omega-3s from fish like wild salmon, sardines, mackerel. Monounsaturated fats from extra virgin olive oil and avocados. These calm inflammation, improve blood flow, and support the production of testosterone. Without them, your body struggles to regulate itself, and your prostate pays the price. The third is cruciferous vegetables: broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, cauliflower. These aren't just trendy. They contain a compound called sulforaphane, which helps detoxify excess estrogens and reduce DHT levels. In one study, men who ate more cruciferous vegetables had significantly lower prostate cancer risk. Not because these foods are magic, but because they help your liver do its job better. And when your liver works better, your hormones come back into balance. Now, you may be wondering, what should a full day of eating look like if I want to protect my prostate? Let's walk through it together. Imagine waking up and having a warm glass of water with a squeeze of lemon. That's not just hydration. It's a gentle way to activate your digestive system. Then breakfast. A veggie omelet cooked in olive oil with spinach, tomatoes, and mushrooms. Maybe a side of berries and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds for added zinc. Mid-morning, you sip on green tea instead of coffee. Why? Because green tea contains EGCG, one of the most studied compounds for prostate protection. It supports detox pathways, calms inflammation, and may even inhibit abnormal cell growth in the prostate gland. Lunchtime rolls around, and you're having grilled wild-caught salmon over a bed of arugula and quinoa, a handful of walnuts, a drizzle of olive oil and lemon juice. This isn't a diet, it's fuel. Every bite supporting circulation, hormone production, and healing at the cellular level. In the afternoon, you snack on a small handful of Brazil nuts. Not too many, just 2 or 3. Why? Because they're rich in selenium, another mineral shown to lower prostate cancer risk when consumed in the right amount. Too much is harmful, but just enough is like a protective shield. Dinner? A bowl of lentil stew with carrots, garlic, celery, and turmeric. Maybe a side of roasted cauliflower. It's hearty, satisfying, and it contains powerful plant compounds that support immunity, reduce inflammation, and nourish your prostate tissue. This is how healing begins, not with medication, but with meals, with real food chosen with intention. And yes, it requires effort, but so does suffering, so does managing pain, navigating symptoms, and waking up 3 times a night. If you're going to spend energy, spend it building the future you want. Now let's talk about supplements, because sometimes, even with the best diet, our bodies need a little more support, especially as we age. There are 4 core supplements that research strongly supports for prostate health. Number 1, saw palmetto. This plant extract has been used for centuries to ease urinary symptoms associated with an enlarged prostate. It works by inhibiting the enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT, the hormone that makes your prostate swell. Clinical trials have shown it can reduce nocturia, improve urine flow, and decrease prostate volume in some men. Number 2, zinc. We've mentioned it already, but it's worth repeating. Zinc is concentrated in the prostate more than almost any other organ. It helps regulate cell growth and immune function. Most men over 60 are deficient. A simple supplement, taken in the right dose, can make a world of difference. Number 3, pygeum. This is an extract from the African plum tree, and studies show it can improve symptoms of BPH by reducing inflammation and supporting bladder emptying. It's particularly useful for men who struggle with incomplete voiding. And number 4, stinging nettle root. It may sound harsh, but this plant has powerful anti-inflammatory effects on the prostate and urinary tract. It's often combined with saw palmetto for even better results. Always talk to your doctor before starting any supplement, especially if you're on medications. But don't let the fear of doing it wrong keep you from doing it at all. These tools exist for a reason. Use them wisely, and they can change your life. Let's now zoom out a bit, because prostate healing doesn't just happen in your gut or your bloodstream. It happens in your rhythm, your choices, the energy you carry throughout your day. Make it a point to move, walk after each meal, stretch in the morning, do light bodyweight exercises or resistance training 2 or 3 times a week. This isn't just for strength. It boosts testosterone, improves circulation to the pelvic floor, and helps flush out inflammation. Make rest a priority. Not just sleep, but rest. Time without screens, time outside, time connecting with people you care about. This recharges your nervous system. It regulates cortisol. It tells your body, we're not in survival anymore, we're safe. And make joy part of your treatment plan. Watch a funny movie. Listen to music that makes you want to dance. Laugh until your ribs hurt. These are not distractions from health, they are fuel for it. Men who feel good heal better. Men who believe in their ability to change do. That's what you're doing now. You've moved from knowledge to action, from confusion to clarity, from fear to focus. And it's not just your prostate that benefits. It's every part of your life that's been held back by discomfort, by urgency, by worry. When your body works better, everything does. Your sleep, your energy, your relationships, your confidence. You are not at the mercy of your age. You are not destined to shrink your life as your years grow longer. You can still take bold, healing steps. You can still feel strong, vibrant, clear, and grounded. And it all starts here. 1 breath, 1 meal, 1 step. You've done the hardest part already, paying attention. Now let the momentum carry you forward. If this message resonates with you, share it. There's a man out there, your brother, your friend, your neighbor, who's struggling silently. He doesn't know what's wrong. He doesn't know what to ask. Let this be his starting point too. And if you want more of this, more truth, more clarity, more action, Subscribe to Health 360 Pro. We're not just a channel, we're a movement, a home for men and women who refuse to accept decline as their fate, who believe that wisdom and wellness can grow together. Your prostate doesn't have to define your story. Your habits do. And today, you've rewritten them. Let's keep walking forward. You've got this.